Hey, what's up, everybody? So let's just
Larry
mute
can
this
come in
for
and
one
decide. He's
second
the
if
one
we
that
can,
gets the vote.
Carlos.
But
We've got
that's not going to last.
BlackRock has been making
which is
moves.
why we have CNBC on with us. But if they're not going to drop PCE numbers right away, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday. So the Fed came out yesterday, and Jay Powell basically sounded more dovish. And then I looked at the Fed swaps rate, and now they're baking in 50 basis points. Up here we go.
That they can actually weigh in on social issues.
They don't even care anymore.
That's an issue.
They shouldn't be weighing in.
Figure it out.
They should be weighing in for the company. They could be the wacky. What if they were crazy right wingers?
We'll talk about the Fed today. We'll talk about the end of the railroad strike. We'll talk about China. We'll talk about the SPY and interest rate.
We got issues to talk
about my
about.
trade yesterday. And then the SPY range is going forward.
Yes.
All right,
Initial jobless claims for the week ending the 26th, 225,000. 225,000. That's the lightest, well, just since a couple of weeks ago when it was at 223,000. Continuing claims, whoa, 1,608,000. That is a big number. We haven't popped over 1.6 since February, so that's the highest level since February 25th.
So the market
now, is
likes
high
the
good or
jobs
is high bad? It all depends on how much credence you put in the Fed for forecasting and where inflation is. Personal income for October up a much more powerful, up 0.7%. That is the best read going back to October of last year. On the spending side, exactly as expected, up 0.8. That's the best read since June of this year. And if we look at personal spending or real spending, that was up 0.5, exactly as expected. Now let's go month over month deflator up 0.3%. Remember, the high water mark there was 1% in June. We've come a long way down. And if we look at the year over year deflator, it's at 6%, exactly as expected. It's 0.3 lower than a slightly revised 6.3 in the rear view mirror. The high water mark going back to 1981 was in June of this year at 7%. So once again, like many numbers, yes, it's too high, but boy, it's not nearly as high as it was. And if we look at the deflator month over month, up 0.2. And finally, personal consumption core deflator year over year, up 5%, exactly as expected. 0.1 revision from 5.1 to 5.2 last month, so it's 0.2 lower. The high water mark here going back to 1983 was 5.41. That was in February of this year. So we can see that that is the stickiest of the bunch, but still making progress. If you look at the market, yields are moving down again. Yesterday, in my opinion, the big news was, despite Jay Powell speaking, the market had the last word, and the last word was very bullish for both treasuries and.
All right, let's remove that. Let's just get right into the numbers. PCE came in as expected, which is why I wasn't expecting a huge market bump or dump today. Now, I didn't expect what happened yesterday when the Fed Chair Powell came on and he spoke and he basically sounded more dovish. And then you had Congress coming on with the railroad strike, and they ended the railroad strike, making the union, the 4 union groups, accept the offer. They did write in an extra 7 days of sick leave, which was the main sticking point. So no more railroad strike. You have Jay Powell coming out and saying what he did, and then you look at the Fed swaps rate, which basically tells you what the Fed is going to hike for December. And it's pretty solid at 50 basis points, and some people were thinking 75. So as it's 50 basis points, the market shot up. Now, I'll tell you what to expect today and end of the year, because we're already in part of the Christmas rally. They took that 3% yesterday. So what happened? Volume was so light in the market yesterday that I wasn't trusting it. Now, I wasn't expecting a major move off Powell. What I was expecting is you have Powell, you have PCE, you have job numbers tomorrow, then you have CPI. Then I was like, okay, then we can have a major move when the Fed actually makes the announcement, or a day or two prior to that. However, Wall Street got ahead of us. They're like, we already know we're buying up the market. How do we know they're buying up the market? Because we went SPY 374 all the way to 394. We busted the 398 plateau on the SPY, ran all the way up to 402 before dropping and consolidating. So the Wall Street was ready to buy the market. So I didn't think they were going to react the way they did off Powell's speech yesterday. My one strategy yesterday, remember, one position I was going to take, I ended up going to TQQQ calls. That's great, right? Tech goes higher, I make a killing. What happened? I secured profit way too soon. I didn't want to trust the Fed was speaking. So I secured a profit. I took like 18%. What did I leave on the table? About 280%, about $24,000 on the table. So I had people reach out, man, I left $10,000 on the table. Man, I had a great trade. I did this. But why did I do that? Because I didn't trust the market. The market could have easily tanked. We know it's artificially inflated and manipulated. So here's the catch. Even with yesterday's purchasing towards the end of the day, which was so strong right at the end of the day when the SPY went from like 405 to 407, volume was off the hook. We went from like 80 million to 116 million in like 10 or 12 minutes. Understanding the first 30 minutes of the day, you trade about 9 million volume of the SPY. So trading that volume end of the day, we ended extremely bullish. And the last time we saw a day like we saw yesterday was after the Fed made the market dump, and then it took 2 days to rebound. So what could potentially happen today? I mean, I don't trust the market. Let me share why I don't trust the market. Let me add this to the stream. Let me make sure I blow it up. This is from Discord. Okay, so what you're looking at is net premiums versus the stock price for the SPY. So as you can see, the white is the stock price of the SPY, okay? What you can see is the green here on the right where my cursor is, it took a dump end of day. It lost about 5%, meaning the price that people were willing to pay for calls quickly went down end of day. And what happened? People were buying put options. The premiums of puts have been going up steadily since the market made its move at 2 p.m. or 2:30 or 1:30 p.m. yesterday. So put prices were going up. They ended at their highest end of day. Call prices were coming down. Now, does that mean we're going to reverse right away? No, but it means I'm keeping my eye on it, because if that trend continues, say the market goes higher because futures are higher, say call premiums come down, right, which is a divergence, prices going higher, call premiums coming down, larger divergence, okay? Say that happens, I'm going to look to make sure put premiums are going up. If I see that, then I could be a bear later in the day or whenever I think we're calling the top of the market. I'll talk about the SPY ranges, but not yet. So what changed the market? You got the Fed, okay? What happened to the 2-year and the 10-year rates? They dropped significantly. We can look this morning. I could just check this every morning. Yeah, the 2-year is at 4.33. It actually just jumped to 4.30, which is pretty significant, and then rallied back up. So that, to me, doesn't mean that it's going down further. That's why I could be a little bearish today, depending. But we just ended the market so strong. I look at the 10-year. Again, it's dumping a little. We're under 3.60. So remember, the 10-year interest rate, which we saw as high as 4.29, is 3.60. We're down 70 basis points, 3/4 of a point. The 2-year interest rate, which I just spoke about, 4.33, right? That was crazy high. That was like 40 or 50 basis points higher. Understand, we still have a severe inversion. Okay, if you're talking about 4.33 and 3.58, you're talking about 77 basis points of inversion. Yes, it's customary. You have an inversion. You're going to recession. Yes, that could be happening, but understand, right now, we just need to trade the market. If the market is telling us it wants to be bullish, we will trade and be bullish and be part of that Santa Claus rally. If the market tells us it wants to be bearish, then we'll trade bearish. Do I think we'll see a day like yesterday? No, I don't. I am going to watch the SPY volume out of the gate. If we hit 10 million in volume by 10 a.m., then that's a strong volume day. Then I will follow the trend. If we're at 3 or 4 million on the SPY come 10 a.m., then I'm going to say it's extremely light, just like yesterday, and we can get severe moves upwards or downwards. Okay, so I mentioned the interest rate. I mentioned the SPY yesterday, 3% move higher. Volume was extremely light through about 1 p.m. Then all of a sudden from 1:30 p.m., obviously Powell spoke, to the end of day, extremely strong. When the market tried to hover or sell off around 406, the buyers stepped in again. They were coming in full force, strong buying. So, and I already spoke about my trade. So again, I'm having the same strategy as yesterday. I'm going to find one trade. This time, I'm actually going to secure 50% profit. See, the problem with yesterday is if I had held on to my TQQQ calls and I'm only looking for 50%, and we all know that I plan ahead. So if I'm in at 68 cents like I was and I plan to exit, I would have exited around $1.05. So it would have hit there right at 130. Then the market contracted. Then it shot up more. So when I talk about missing out on a lot of money, the likelihood is I probably would have played it safe. I would have planned ahead and secured profit. Yes, I am going to talk about the SPY. But first, let's bring up dark pool, okay? I always speak about the dark pool and how more than 50% of market trading happens in the dark pool, and we all don't know about it. And it happens in the dark pool so that nothing affects the price of the stock or ETF. Because if you're buying $1 billion worth of the SPY on the open market, what do you think it's going to do? It's going to go up. People are going to acknowledge your trade. So the dark pool is secretive. Now, here's the catch. Yesterday, dark pool orders, the day before, dark pool orders on the SPY under $1 billion, which is extremely light. I mean, I've seen single trades for $2 to $4 billion under with the entire dark pool of the SPY past 2 days. Now, what else could I bring up about the dark pool? So I'm going to bring something up on my Discord. Let me just, on our Discord. It's more than my Discord. We have 4 of us that run this platform. If you want to join the platform, you get 7 free trial days. But I like to give market direction. Love, who's an accounting professor, is a teacher. So she teaches the shit out of things. All right. Any questions you have, there's always answers to help you get better. Romeo does his live streams. We've got Tukey now giving out his alerts. His first day giving out alerts, 529% to the upside. So there is a good thing to join our Discord. It is free for 7 days. After that, it's $34.99. But understand, we're giving you the same information that Unusual Whales, that all these other Discords give you and charge $100. So are we a discount Discord? I don't think so. We're here to help the average trader. The average trader doesn't have $100, $200 to trade with to pay his service, but $35 people have. Okay, so let's pass that. Let's get into the SPY, okay? SPY ranges, of support and resistance. Let me just, did I add this to the stream? Let's see it. Oh, it's there. Okay, great. So what I do is I look at the dark pool on the SPY. I go to Discord. I'll type in TRDP levels SPY. So what you can see is $48 billion of dark pool level on the SPY at 396. Okay, another $24 billion of dark pool. Now remember, the last 2 days I said under $1 billion per day. So nobody's touching the dark pool. Why? Because at this level, the dark pool is relatively dead, which means, can we push higher? Yes, the next level, and here's where we get into the SPY. So I'll give you my bull case scenario, my bear case scenario, and then what I think is likely to happen today, because I have a strong game plan as far as what I expect to see today, and I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. Okay, so long-term bull, yeah, we're going to see 420 on the SPY, 4,200 on the S&P. Let's go into the ranges, okay? So where are we trading at right now? 407.68. Understand, 407 will act as support. If it breaks support, 403 is the next level down, okay? 403 next level, 407. So what could happen? We could open up, it could go under 407. But if it shoots higher, understand the next level of resistance that you're looking for it to break through will be 411. Could it break 411 today? Sure, it could trickle over 411 and then pull back. That's happened where I think we're going to finish around 409, 410, something like that on the SPY. Okay, so upside, 407, 411, 415, and then it gets interesting at 419 because, again, there's excess supply at 419. So if we were to push another 3%, not that it's going to happen today, but if we push another 3% higher over the next week, we're in the first week of December, we're 3% higher, we're at 419. Yes, I would expect the SPY to show some resistance at that level. Again, 411, 415, 419. Let's go on the way down. Again, on the way down, you'd have to think something would have to come out. News, data, the next real data point, or maybe some earnings would have to fail, or maybe a big company would have to announce major issues, supply chain issues. Like if Apple came out and said something terrible, that could take down technology. But other than that, we're all on the sidelines. The market happens to be bullish. No matter what happens today, the market is bullish. It consolidated at the level in the 390s, right? 395, 394, 393, consolidated, pushed higher. When it's ready to push higher, it pushed higher. And then what did we do? We shot up. So we shot up a little too fast. Keep in mind, nothing goes straight up. So even if the market has a green day today, I'm going to be looking for the top to get into some puts, and I'll ride it down. Or if the market does what I expect today, I'll show you when I'm going to get into my calls, because I'm not getting into calls at market open with futures looking so green, with the huge push yesterday, with strong volume. Yes, those are all bullish sentiments. But remember, as investors, we do not just chase things. So here's a quick analogy, okay? Anybody can gamble. You go to a casino or a sports book and there's team A playing team B. Anybody could be like, I'm putting $1,000 on team A. Why? I like their helmets. Why? I like the team name. Why? They're a better team. Anybody can put $1,000 on team B. True. Same is true with trading. So we have SPY calls and puts. They expire, let's just say Friday to be safe. Anybody could say, market's going down. I'm buying a SPY put. I'm buying a SPY call. I think the market's going higher. So what we need to do is not flip coins. What we need to do is pay specific attention to ranges of support and resistance, and when the news is next going to break. When is CPI coming out? When is the Fed making their announcement? Is there any other news in the interim that could change the market? For me, there are job numbers coming out, non-farm payroll jobs tomorrow. So what could happen? If job numbers increase, the market will go down. If job numbers increase, the market will go down. Yes, that is correct. If job numbers decrease, people will say, oh, look, the Fed is continuing to do their job. So the Fed came out on Wednesday. Powell spoke. PCE numbers came out on Thursday. They were in line or down, and especially down from their highs. I don't even know why the guys bring up like they're at their lowest level since March of 2017. I mean, who the hell cares? We're talking about living in the now, living in the, here and now. What am I paying for gas? What am I paying for rent? Again, I don't have my apartment yet. I'm supposed to move tomorrow, but I have no apartment. So I will come. My movers are coming tomorrow morning, but I will be live at 8:30 tomorrow morning to tell you what I'm seeing in the market because my movers aren't coming till at least 9, 10 a.m. So I have time. Have I packed yet? No, because I don't have a place yet because my new apartment hasn't told me yes or no. I don't know what their freaking problem is. If you have any questions, please put them to the side. If you like watching me in the morning or you have questions over there, like watching me, thumbs up and you join me each and every day. That's all I ask. I don't ask you guys to follow me on trades, anything like that. I share my trades. Why do I share my stuff? Because it's here to help you. That's exactly it. So again, you could bet on any sports game. You could be like A, B, C, whatever. You could bet in the market. It doesn't mean you're a good trader. I've had friends who go and like, I put $10,000 in. I'm like Tesla. I'm going to buy Tesla calls. They happen to guess the day right, and they like made $50,000, and then they lost it 2 weeks later. So when you make a good amount of money, again, bring that into your strategy. Let's say you had an awesome day yesterday, and I know a lot of people that had killer days yesterday. Are you going to trade the same way? I had a friend take $3,400 into $34,000. So, but he was all in at $3,400. He made a killing. He made 1,000%. But I'm fearful, and I told him, listen, buddy, make sure your next trades are $500 a trade. You're not looking to scoop another $34,000 today. And he's like, I certainly am. And I'm like, okay, well, that probably will not work out. So make sure your mindset is right. Let's say you had a terrible day yesterday. Let's say you were in puts and you're like, the market should be going down. This is BS. And I'm not in that position, thank goodness. But let's say you were in that position or are in that position going into today. What would I do? You got to reset. You got to turn it off and just reset and say, okay, I was at 15,000. My account's going to be at $4,300 this morning. I'm going to take that 4,300. I'm going to trade smartly today. You're not looking to make that 4,300 back to 15,000. That would just be suicidal. It'd be Harry Carey. So if you had a great day, please do not change your trading strategy. If you had a wonderful day yesterday and you made a lot of money, please still enter your positions one contract at a time. Okay, I want to get a piece of paper because I wanted to draw, you know what, I'll use this permanent marker, whiteboard. Whiteboard's already used up. Let me get rid of this. Let me just show you what I think is going to happen today. So yesterday we did this when the Fed spoke, then we dropped down, then we went higher. Okay, futures are up here. They dropped down a little. What is likely to happen today is I believe we will go out of the gate up here at some point. Now, the market will resist. And when it finally does, I think we need to fill this gap in here. Meaning, I think if the SPY is sitting at 407, at some point, let me think, today is Wednesday. Today's Thursday. Okay, so Thursday and Friday, between today and tomorrow, the SPY is sitting at 407, maybe even if it's probably green pre-market, right? It's pretty, yeah, it's sitting at 409. Okay, so excuse me. Sitting at 409 is extremely important because we'll talk about the ranges. I'll give you one more time. But we're sitting at 409. I think sometime, let's see, tomorrow is Friday, then we have Monday. Sometime by the end of day, Monday, I believe the SPY will come back and touch 405.50 or something in that level. So I'm just going to be patient. I know the market wants to be green. I know I want to be bullish with the market right now, but I don't want to fight the trend. right? And I don't want to chase. So I have my entry. My entry is a whole 1% on the SPY down from where we are pre-market. So could that happen today? Sure. Might it happen tomorrow off the job numbers? Sure. But let's remember, we're not here to gamble. We're not here to play any trade at any time. I'm looking for, and I'll do it again. I'll show you on the bottom here, but I'm looking for my option trade yesterday. Went like this, and then it bottomed right here like that. At this bottom, I knew I was good because I knew I saw support. Even though it was an option of the TQQQ. So the TQQQ was having support at those levels. So even at the worst, let's say I held my TQQQ options yesterday through the up and down. Let's just say I rode the elevator. At the worst, my entry was so good, I only would have been down 10 or 11%. And again, those are the same options that made 280%. I took 18%, called myself a winner. But I'm saying if I rode the elevator and I was like, oh, we're going up. No, we're going down. Oh, we're going up. No, we're going down. At the worst case scenario, I would have been down 11%. So you have good entry. If the market is going opposite your position and you're only down 8, 9, 10, 11% in your option, you're doing well. Because I've seen people that hop into an option and they're down 20%, and at the worst, they're down 78%. Same people come back to me and said, I made money on it. But imagine you bought in at $1 and you could have bought in at like 32 cents, and then you ended up selling at $1.10. Instead of making 10%, you would have made about 292%. Huge freaking difference. Okay, so let's get to a couple questions, and then I got to head over to Discord. And again, if anybody wants to put me up in Miami, just let me know. My apartment hasn't come through yet. Kidding. Yes. So do I think the SPY is going to break 409 resistance in the future of the SPY back to a bull? Yeah. So, I mean, we're in the middle of a Christmas rally. So here's the catch. If big money did not like the market yesterday, they would have sold off on the Fed news. They would have sold off on the spike. Once we saw the spike all the way to like 405, they would have sold it and we would have seen 398. Market volume was extremely strong. So yes, like I said, I've got to be bullish. I've got to go with the market trend. That doesn't mean that I'm hopping on at market open. I happen to think the market should pull back a little before going higher. I think that movement yesterday, the 3% movement in like a 2-hour time span, was a little too quick, a little too fast. And I think the market expects retail traders to jump on the train at market open. So whether you're looking at Roku, Disney, Netflix, whatever it is, people on the sidelines are going, yeah, just buy it open, buy it open, buy it. So yeah, no, there's no doubt the market's going to be up at open. I don't trust it. I need to find a consolidated level where I find support and I go, okay, if I think the market's going higher, I know where support is. That's where I want to go in. Vice versa. If you think the market's going lower, there are people that, are out there saying, this is ridiculous. The market should go down. I used to be one of those naysayers saying, this is bullshit. We're going into recession. But the truth is you really have to follow big money. And the best way to follow big money, again, is using algorithms, using dark pool levels, using big flows. I mean, what would I go? I'd go and I'd look at the golden sweeps. So can you guys do this with me? Okay, you are. Great. So I go to the golden sweeps and I go to the last sweeps of the day. So at the end of the day, what were they buying? Upstart. Somebody bought $1 million worth of Upstart calls expiring in February at a 22.5 strike. So, I mean, that right there is telling you, and that was done at 332. So let's just take a look at Upstart real quick. I'll do it on my phone. Upstart. Okay. And this is just how I use Discord. Okay. So let's go back to yesterday at 3:30. Upstart was at $19.20, let's say. This morning, it's at $20. So literally, it's up 5% or 4.8% since that person entered into that call sweep. So that's how you use it. You're just looking at big money. And the thing about it is, entering the call sweep for $1 million is a big move for Upstart. Now, if you're talking about like Tesla, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, nothing. If you're talking about the SPY, I've seen SPY trades for $4.5 million, 8 million puts, this million, that million. Not that big. But for Upstart, yeah, that's pretty significant. Now, if you missed Upstart, what likes to move with Upstart? Affirm, AFRM. Now, I'm not a believer in either of these two companies. These buy now, pay later sites, I think are going to be in major disarray come next year. Major disarray. Because people, this is what I was laughing at when they were announcing personal consumption expenditures, PCE, this morning. People are spending more money. Yes, people are making more money. The average, if you stayed at your job, your increase was like 7%. If you found a new job, your increase was like 15%. So yes, people are making more money. However, other people are getting laid off. Price of everything else is still high. People say it's coming down. I haven't seen shit come down. The only reason something comes down is it's on sale for one reason or another, but I haven't seen it. But we can't fight the market. So if the market wants to push higher, we'll go into the SPY ranges. Somebody asked about 409 today. So yeah, we're sitting at 409 pre-market. If I was going to be bullish, which I already said, again, I'm looking for the SPY to come down to 405. That's entry for me. That's where I saw support yesterday. That's entry. Anywhere above that, no man's land. Someone say, dude, you're going to miss profit today. I might miss profit, but I'm a safe trader. I'm a winning trader. If you all could say, hey, you're winning traders, then shit, go with your strategy. But if you're losing at trading, pay attention to this one. If you're losing money in the market, here's a suggestion. Trade less. Obviously, your strategy's off. So if you like to trade 930, 1030, whatever it is, you like to buy 5 contracts at a time, but you're losing on your trades, you have to change it up. If you do the same, history will repeat itself. So for me, what did I do? What was the biggest change I made in my trading game? Biggest trade I made is I said any trades I make before 11 a.m., they always are struggling. Even though I'm green, I go from green to red, then I have to average them. So I know if I trade before 11 a.m., my trades sometimes struggle. My trades are really good around 1:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sometimes I don't even have to hold overnight. So what do? I pretend, I tell myself, dude, you have no available funds to trade in any of your accounts until at least noon. So whereas I'm still watching the market, I'm watching the ticker, I'm watching CNBC, I'm watching the SPY, I'm watching the Qs, I'm not trading shit because even if I know it's going higher, I can always get better entry and there's always a better position and it's always later in the day. I mentioned yesterday when I entered the TQQQ calls, why I entered when I did, and it was 10:50 a.m. because I explained to everybody my timetable in the market. Here it is again, 9:30 for the first 15 minutes of the market. It's pretty active because you have Wall Street and big money. Then it slows down a little around 10:15. You have a reversal. So if the market's strong at 10:15, it'll look to reverse. It's a fake out. If the market's weak at 10:15, it'll look to reverse. It's a fake out. There'll be a double bottom or a double top. Now we've seen green days where all of a sudden you'll see that and then it goes even higher. So that's my philosophy. Now I tend to say the best or the worst in the market comes somewhere around 11 a.m. to about 11:30 a.m., right? 11, maybe 10:50, 11:20, something like that. So yesterday when the market was getting sick on itself, I said, okay, I like TQQ calls. And what happened? I was green 2%, and then all of a sudden I was red 4%. And I'm like, 5-minute rule, red, right after I was red. And again, the TQQ was what? It was like $19 and change. Yeah, I think it was like, 1982 I got in. It dropped all the way to 1975. And then it shot up. Where is it now, man? It was pressing 23 yesterday. It could go as high as, if we see a green day in the market, 26. I mean, then I'm leaving over 100,000 on the table. See, here's the other thing. Yesterday with that trade, I made an announcement on Discord. And I did a video and I said, my options expire Friday. So I'm in no rush today. But I was in a rush to secure profit. With your options expiring Friday, you can give yourself more time. Let me just see if we have any other questions. Thoughts on AMD? I mean, AMD, I'd rather, if I'm going to play a stock, I'd rather be playing NVIDIA. The semiconductor stocks, they all have demand. It would either be AMD or NVIDIA. Again, bull run, SPY finishes or S&P finishes at 4,200 or higher end of the year. Yeah, AMD is going to be back close to $99, $98. However, the market, we only saw one day of trading yesterday. It was only 116 of volume, and it was only 60 million after the Fed chairman spoke. So are we to believe the market? Yes, but skepticism. Again, I showed you the first chart I showed you, and if you missed it, you got to go back on the Discord, is that call premiums were coming down and put premiums were going up end of day, saying that people were untrusting in the market. Now, they could be hedges, but that's what I saw happening. All right, what's the next one? Yeah, only 6 of you people gave me thumbs up. Have more thumbs up. That would be good. Team Cheek, see you again, Mr. Jock. All right, man, I think we're good. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'm heading over to Discord to talk about a couple things a little more further. But again, trade the ranges, Use your strategy. Don't rush into any trades. I'd rather you be a winning trader and come back tomorrow and say, dude, I made $100. I'm so happy I listened to you in the morning, because my flaw used to be over trading. Simple as that. See you guys later.